Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be going over the 2019 Mazda 3 hatchback, and this is the new one with the all-wheel drive system. For 2019 here, they have recently redesigned the Mazda 3, and then they have added all-wheel drive to this car. It's the first time they've added all-wheel drive, like I just said, and so it's really neat. Big shout out and thank you to Southtown Mazda for providing us with the vehicle today. And then as always, if you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. So under the hood here of the 2019 Mazda 3 all-wheel drive hatchback, we're going to find a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder motor. It is naturally aspirated. It's going to be good for 186 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. That is going to be routed through a 6-speed automatic transmission. If you are wondering about fuel economy, since this is all-wheel drive now, you are going to be 24 miles per gallon around town, 32 on the highway with 27 combined. So the fuel economy is going to go down slightly from the front-wheel drive variant, but it's not a huge amount. Finishing things up front, you do get these nice blacked out LED projector bulbs up front. And then another thing to mention on the front, like I've mentioned with all the other Mazdas, you do get their signature grille design, but you can see right here with the logo, I'm going to go a little bit closer. You can see it's actually the sensor for the adaptive cruise control, so it's really neat. And then I do love this little front splitter like design that they're doing on the front. I think it just makes it look a lot more aggressive overall, and it makes it have a lot nicer appearance. I'm coming from this angle so I can kind of show you this paint. It has a very, very nice crystal effect to it. It's called Snowflake White Pearl. I love it when paints are like this. It looks absolutely fantastic on this car. You are going to get 18-inch alloy wheels for the front and for the back, and they're finished in kind of like this lower gloss gray. It looks good overall with the white paint on this particular model. Here, so you can get a side view of the Mazda 3 hatchback. It actually isn't coming through too well onto the camera because it doesn't look as sloped in the back as what it actually is, but you can definitely tell in person that it is a hatchback for sure. As always, here is the key fob for the new Mazda 3 hatchback. I really like the key fob overall. You have the lock and unlock that are actually on the side of the key fob, so most of the key fob is just left blank, which is kind of neat, and it's actually really, really lightweight as well. Coming around to the back, the trunk release is actually right here below the logo. You can see there's a little cargo cover that pops up, but you get more storage space. That's why a lot of people will go for the hatchbacks, is for the extra storage space. You do get a spare tire underneath there as well. The floor mats are nicely wrapped up. If you do want extra storage space and extra utility, the hatchback is the one to go for. And just because it's really bright outside, I'm not sure if it's coming through in the back, but here's actually a lock button that's on the back of the tailgate right here. I'm going to click the key fob so you can kind of see the LED lights here in the back. I really, really love the new design that they're doing on this Mazda 3. So you get a circle here, and then you get another one over there, and they've got little LEDs, 4 points on each, and it just looks really, really good. It looks really good in person, and so I just love that look overall. Down below, you're going to get your dual exhaust, and you will get an all-wheel drive badge on the other side of the car, since this is the all-wheel drive hatchback variant. Coming around to the side here, we can see the door panel right there. You get this nice white leather here with the contrasted bolsters that are in black. You do get some stitching as well on the top and up here, so everything's kind of like leather lined and with nice stitching as well. To the interior here, we can see more of this nice white leather, and legroom on here is actually pretty decent. This is a compact car, but it has a decent amount of space back here, and as always, we can pull down the cup holders here so you can rest your arms there and hold some drinks as well. Coming around to the front, you do get keyless entry here, so you can lock it or unlock it with just a touch of your hand, and you can see more of that nice paneling, so more of the nice leather contrasted stitching, leather bolsters down here. All of your window controls are going to be right down here. Your controls to adjust the mirrors are going to be right there. Like I said, since this isn't the fully loaded one, it doesn't have power seats, but you can get that as an option if you go for the fully loaded variant. Stepping in here, step and height's actually really good, and so it's a little bit lower to the ground compared to an SUV, but it's not hard to get in by any means. Start up the Mazda 3, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and push the push start button. It'll give you a little bit of a chime, and then the gauges will do a sweep. You can see right here, these are all of your controls for the adaptive cruise control right there. And then on the other side, we can see all of our controls for the little center screen right there, your Bluetooth calling controls. and then your controls to change the radio channels. And again, like I've said in the other Mazda models, I love their steering wheels. The leather feels really good, and the steering wheel, just the size of it and the overall design with it looks really good as well. Now coming into the gauge here, we have our RPMs there. You've got your speedo in the center right here with your range, and then you're gonna get your temperature and your traditional fuel gauge on the other side as well. And then, like I said, you can scroll through here to show different bits of information on the vehicle. So whatever you want to see, safety assistance, radio, all that kind of stuff, you can see in that little center screen right there. Right here we have Mazda's center screen. It is not a touch screen, so you've got to use this dial down here to control everything and all these buttons. I'll go over those in just a moment. But you're going to be able to do your navigation, calling, Bluetooth, music, texting, everything. This will give you all the information on the car overall. If we pop the car into reverse, the backup camera will pop up. It's got some nice trajectory lines there. Quality on the camera is really good, so it's really easy to park this car with this type of camera. Down below we have our controls for the dual zone climate, and you have your buttons that are right up here to control the fan speed as well. And then you have your defrosters right there. Little USB port down below, and then you get some extra storage right down here. Front of the shifter, you get this little panel that you can cover up the cup holders with. We're gonna have our shifter down here below. It does have a manual shift mode, and then you do get a sport mode as well, so that'll pop up in the center screen when you turn the sport mode on or off right there. And down below here we have our parking brake, auto hold, and then these are all your controls for the center screen right here. So you've got your back button, home button, music button, and then this is the dial to go over everything. And then you have your button for the volume controls, and then you do get a favorite button as well, just like on all the other Mazdas. So I'm glad that they add a favorite button. This is the armrest where you're going to rest your arms, so nicely lined with leather. You're going to get more charging stations in there, USBs, and it's got a decent amount of storage space overall. Finishing things up on the interior, I love the color of these seats, and they've got some nice bolsters so they'll hold you in place, but they're not super narrow, so you can sit there comfortably. You don't have to get squished by them or anything. And the stitching through them, the leather, everything just looks really nice overall. And to kind of finish things up on this interior and wrap things up, everything again padded with leather, or it's soft touch materials, so everything looks really nice, feels really nice to the touch. And so kind of at the price point that these are at, you know, the mid $20,000 range, which similar price point to the Subaru Imprezas, the interior quality on this is actually a lot higher, I will say that. And so you definitely do get a much more upscale interior overall. And so if that's something that's important to you, then Mazda is definitely the route to go on that side of things. Of course, I forget to mention the glove box. You can see there's a decent amount of storage down there, traditional glove box, and right above it you can see the vents. There's just a bunch of little vents here. It's kind of strange how much vents there actually are in the side. They look completely different for the driver part as well. Let's take the new Mazda 3 all-wheel drive out for a drive just to see how it drives and handles as well. Setting off here in the 2019 Mazda 3 hatchback, and I will say I'm probably going to be making quite a few comparisons to Subaru, and that's because they've kind of owned the market with the all-wheel drive hatchbacks over the last few years. We are going to take the Mazda 3 on the highway per usual, just to get a little acceleration and see how it performs on the interstate ride quality as well. So we are going to get a little bit of an acceleration here with the Mazda 3. And it actually accelerates really well. And, you know, like I said, I'm going to be comparing this to the Subaru. The Mazda 3 has more power than the Subaru, more torque, and so it actually accelerates better than that car. Ride quality on the interstate with the Mazda 3 is actually really smooth, and so I wasn't expecting that from a little bit smaller size car, but it's just riding over the roads really smooth, and so that's a very good thing overall. Interior cabin noise, there is actually not a lot, so it is a pretty luxurious experience to be in here. There's not a lot of road noise. These seats are super comfortable to sit in, and so this is a car that you could drive for a lot of miles, and you could drive every single day, no problem. To sum up things with the 2019 Mazda 3 all-wheel drive, I think this is a very good value proposition. You get a lot of safety tech, adaptive cruise control that you can get as, you know, optional equipment, the blind spot monitoring, and for a very reasonable price. And like I said earlier, the interior on this is way nicer than get the all-wheel drive too, and you get the hatchback versatility. And so I think from just a value standpoint overall, and just all the tech and the styling that you get with this car, I would dare say that this kind of beats out the Subaru, which again, like I said, has been the main thing in this class overall. So if you are in the market for a hatchback, especially an all-wheel drive hatchback, you absolutely have to come check out one of these new Mazdas. And I'm not saying that because you guys know I'm not affiliated with Mazda in any way or anything like that. I'm saying that because I really believe that. And there we have it, everyone, the 2019 all-wheel drive Mazda 3 hatchback. As always, if you are stopping in for the first time, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed, comment down below what you thought, and then big shout out again and thank you to Mazda of Southtown for providing us with the vehicle. But I will see all of you in that next video.